Hello students, welcome back to your science class. So students, in the previous class in this chapter, that is cell, we were talking about that of the cell theory, as well as we have understood the structure of the cell in which we were talking about the plasma membrane. Plasma membrane is what, student? It is the outer covering of the cell. And basically this plasma membrane is a selectively permeable membrane. Selectively permeable membrane or semi-permeable membrane. So basically membrane is divided into three types on the basis of how much content it allows to pass through it. So on the basis of that, membrane is of three types, that is impermeable, semi-permeable or selectively permeable and permeable. If we talk about permeable, students, then selectively permeable membrane, student, first of all we will talk about the permeable. Permeable membrane is that type of a membrane which allow all the thing to pass through it. It means it allows solute as well as solvent to pass through it. Such kind of a membrane is a permeable membrane. Semi-permeable or selectively permeable membrane is a membrane which allow few amount of a content to pass through it. It means it allows solvent to pass through it. Although if it is a very concentrated solution like a sugar or a salt, so it is quite difficult to pass through that of the selectively or a semi-permeable membrane. But yes, it allows the solvent molecules to pass through it. In case of an impermeable membrane, this is a membrane which do not allow anything to pass through it. That is impermeable. So there are three types of a membrane. Now, if we talk about the plasma membrane, so plasma membrane is what? It is a semi-permeable, selectively permeable membrane, student. Okay? Means it allow only the solvent molecules to pass through it. Now if we talk about the structure, so with the help of a light microscope, we will only see a fine line around that of the cell organelles, and that we call as a cell membrane. But with the help of the electron microscope, we are able to see the structure very well. Or we can see the ultrastructure of a plasma membrane. What are the things which is there on the plasma membrane? So it is covered or it is surrounded by phospholipid bilayer. It means two layers of phospholipids are there at the outer surface of the plasma membrane. And not only this, but protein molecules are also embedded in it, or protein molecules are also present in it. Basically, the protein molecules which is present in that of the semi-permeable membrane or the cell membrane, that is the intrinsic protein and extrinsic protein. Intrinsic protein is that protein which is present at the periphery, and it usually covered that particular area of the phospholipid layer, okay, wherever it is present. If we talk about the extrinsic, so these are the proteins which can be present either inside to that of the plasma membrane or present at the outside. Okay, so these are the two different types of a protein is there. Now the role of the protein is not there in order to provide a strength, but it is also helpful. It also work at a different kind. Like it act as a receptor protein, so it used to bind with the molecule in order to make it to go inside. Then it also help in the process of endocytosis, again the same thing. Then here you will also found that is these proteins, they act as a pump. It means it also allow in the active transport of the system. And finally, it helpful as a transport protein. So these are some of the functions of the protein, students. We have also understood the advantages of the selectively permeable membrane, that how it will helpful in taking the thing inside and releasing or throwing the waste material outside to that of the cell membrane. So we have understood this one, student, and we have also understood the functions. So let us start with the function. And we said that the first function, that being a selectively permeable membrane, being a semi-permeable membrane, it allows few things to pass through that of the membrane. Now the first function that we have to understood here, student, it is diffusion. 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 What is a diffusion? So, some substances are there, student, like carbon dioxide is there, water is there, oxygen is there, water is there. They can move across the plasma membrane. And how the movement happens, this will be explained by the process of the diffusion. So basically the movement of these substances across the plasma membrane is called as diffusion. So if we discuss the definitions, so for that we can say here the diffusion is what? The spontaneous movement of the spontaneous movement of the molecules from a region of high concentration to the low concentration. High concentration to the low concentration, that is called as diffusion. Basically, if you understand it, we can understand with the help of a beaker. So suppose students, this is what? This is a water, and what happened here, we had used an ink, okay, and we had kept a molecule of a ink here. So this is what? This is the ink. Few drops of a ink is there, students. Now what happened when you drop a few drop of a ink in a water, then after an interval of a time you will find that without stirring, if you will not going to stir it also, you will find that this whole beaker will turn out the color of the ink. Suppose we have used a blue ink, so this whole, so if we drop a few drops of a ink here, this is the blue ink, students, which we had dropped at a one end of the beaker. Then what do we find? That after an interval of a time, this ink will start moving, and we will see that the whole color of the beaker will turn out to be blue color. And the reason is because this ink particle will get present everywhere. It get distributed everywhere, so now it will become a blue water. What happens here? Why does it occur, students? This basically happens many times. So it happens because of the process of diffusion. So here the molecules, they start moving from the higher concentration to the lower concentration. At this point, when we drop the few amount of ink, so the concentration of the ink was more. Now when you leave it as it is, it just starts moving from this higher concentration to the lower concentration area. And the movement is continuous until and unless each and every part of the layer of the water, or each or every part of the water molecule get evenly, or the ink molecule will get evenly distributed in the water. Right? So we can say here that because of the higher concentration at a point, it want to balance it, and this which can be done by the movement of this concentrated ink from the higher concentration region to the lower concentration region. This process is called as diffusion. In a very easy way, you can understand this with the help of examples. Suppose at a corner of the, suppose we will take an example of a perfume, and when we spray a perfume at a corner of a room, you will find that after a few interval of a time, you can smell the perfume even at the other corner of the room. The same thing we can do that with the agarbatti. Suppose you will light it on agarbatti, then what happened? That incense stick will produces the smell, and that will comes to the other corner or other side of the room also. So this basically happens since the smell of that of the perfume or the agarbatti was, when it was littered, it was sprayed, there the concentration is much more as compared to the molecules of the air which do not consisting of that perfume molecules. So what happened? It starts moving from that particular higher concentration region to the lower concentration. And this movement is continuously occurring until and unless whole of the molecule will become balanced, or whole of the perfume molecule will get evenly distributed throughout that particular area. So this process is called as a diffusion. Now your question arises that where we will going to use this process. So basically the process of a diffusion, students, here it occurs at the cell region. Like suppose what happened? A cell is there. It is an amoeba cell. So here in this amoeba cell, if this is a cell, student, if the amount of a concentration of oxygen, O2 is more. O2 is more as compared to O2 present outside. O2 is less outside the cell. O2 is more inside the cell and oxygen is less outside the cell. What will happen? So in order to balance it, then what happened? This oxygen will start coming outside. Right? Because the concentration of oxygen is more inside the cell and concentration of oxygen is less outside the cell. So because of the process of the diffusion, everything, students, want to be an equilibrium. Every reaction and every phenomenon want to get the stability, want to get the equilibrium. Okay, and this equilibrium will be maintained, this equality will be maintained when both of the side concentration will be equal. And this will happen since the more side of a concentration will start moving to the low concentration area. Okay, or to the side of the low concentration of the molecule. So oxygen start moving from inside to outside. Now the question is that until which time, or we can say up to which this process will continues to occur. So this process will continues to occur until and unless both of the side of the oxygen, the concentration of both of the side of the oxygen will becomes equal. As it becomes equal, it does not mean that the movement does not happen at that time, but since it is equal now, so there will be no such kind of a change in the concentration can be seen. So simply the thing that you have to understand here, that is oxygen which is present inside to that of the cell to that of the outside. If the concentration is more at a place to the concentration less concentration area, so the molecules start moving from the higher concentration to the lower concentration. This is the process of diffusion. Now let us try to understand the same concept in case of a human cell. You know that we used to take oxygen and release carbon dioxide. So suppose if this is a cell, students. Okay, this is a cell. This is a cell. Inside to that of the cell, if amount of, this is amount of carbon dioxide, suppose, and suppose this is amount of oxygen. I am doing that in order to make a difference. It does not mean that it is like that. Okay, or you can simply understand it by, this is a cell and this is CO2, 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 And oxygen is also there, O2, 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 here it is O2, there O2, it is O2. Now, what happened outside? Outside, the molecule of oxygen is much more. So suppose the amount of oxygen is much more outside, then what happens? Since the concentration of oxygen is more at the outside as compared to the concentration of the, and suppose the carbon dioxide which is present is of a very less amount outside. So what happened? Here if we apply the process of a diffusion, so inside to that of the cell the amount of oxygen is less and the concentration of oxygen is more outside the cell. And if we compare with that of the carbon dioxide, so amount of a carbon dioxide is more in that of the cell as compared to the concentration of the carbon dioxide outside to the cell. So obviously the higher concentration of the oxygen makes it to move from outside to inside because of the process of diffusion. And the same thing we will see in case of a carbon dioxide. Since outside the amount of carbon dioxide is less, okay, and inside it is more. So since CO2 is more inside the cell, so start moving from outside to inside the cell. Sorry, it's start moving from inside to outside of the cell. Okay, from inside to outside. So since CO2 is more inside the cell, so and outside the concentration is less, and we know that the movement of the, in case of a diffusion, the process of the movement of molecule from the higher concentration to lower concentration. So higher concentration of a carbon dioxide start moving from inside of the cell to the outside. Okay, what happened in case of oxygen? So the amount of oxygen outside to that of the cell is comparatively more as compared to present inside. So oxygen being more concentrated outside, higher concentration, higher reason of higher molecules of oxygen is present outside. So again diffusion, movement of high concentration to low concentration. So it starts moving from outside to inside. Outside to inside. Okay, start moving from outside to inside. This is how we will understand the process of a diffusion. Okay? This is how we will understand the level of a carbon dioxide and oxygen and how the exchange of the gases happen in the cell. Okay, so exchange of gases happens because of the process of diffusion. So this is the one function. Now see the other one, and that is osmosis. Osmosis. Okay. Osmosis. What happened in the process of osmosis, students? In the process of osmosis, water also shows the process of a diffusion. But the process of the diffusion, it means there also movement of the molecules happen from the higher concentration to lower concentration. But this process involves the movement occur through a membrane, and that is semi-permeable membrane. So now we can define the osmosis as the spontaneous movement of water molecule, the spontaneous movement of water molecule through a selectively permeable membrane, through a selectively permeable selectively permeable membrane is called osmosis. It's called osmosis. Basically, selectively permeable membrane, it means plasma membrane. So here, the spontaneous movement of the water molecule happen, it means from the higher concentration to the lower concentration. But this movement happened with the help of a membrane, that is semi-permeable membrane, students. Okay. So, we can also define it as osmosis. Osmosis is the passage of water from a region of high water concentration to low water concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. So movement of the water molecule through a semi-permeable membrane from the higher concentration to the low concentration of the water. This is the process that is called as osmosis, students. Now we can understand here by the process of osmosis we can understood with the help of a experiment that we can perform with the red blood cells. So what will happen if we keep the red blood cells in a solution which is having higher concentration, a solution which is having the low concentration of water, and a solution which consisting of an equal amount of water as in the cell as well as in the solution itself. So let us take a situation and let us see that what will happen when we keep the cell inside it. So here the first one, now keeping the RBC cell in different solution. So the first one is, that is, if the medium surrounding the cell has high water. The cell has higher water concentration. So, if the medium surrounding the cell has higher water concentration, than the cell, water concentration than the cell, it means if the solution is, that is, if the solution is very dilute solution, the cell will gain water by the process of osmosis. Okay? The cell will gain the water through osmosis. Okay? And Such dilute solution is called hypotonic solution. Such dilute solution is hypotonic solution, called as hypotonic solution. Let me tell you what does that mean. Suppose we had kept the cell in a solution. That cell is surrounded by a lot of water. So the concentration of the water outside to that of the cell is more to the concentration of the water which is present inside to that of the cell. So ultimately the water will start moving from outside to inside. So that is why we are saying that this will gain the water through osmosis. It means the cell will start receiving the water and this will make them to gain the water. Because of that, students, the cell will become, we will say it become turgid, and sometimes it become burst also. Okay. So we can say here that the RBC, it receives a lot of water and it swells up and burst, and that is why it is also called as hemolyzed or blood cell ghost. Okay. So when you look at the microscope and try to find out that what will happen when we keep the RBC in a hypotonic solution, we will find that even we are not able to see the RBC cells clearly, because all the cells have received a lot of water and due to which it burst out. It get hemolyzed. Okay, so ultimately we will not able to see the blood cells properly, and that is why we will call the situation as a blood cell ghost. Okay, so what happened? Let me tell you. Suppose this is a beaker and here we had kept a cell. So this is a cell, students. Inside the cell there is a other cell organelles are also there. So in a very simple way we just understand it. So suppose a cell is there, and I am showing the cell with a spherical structure, although it is not like that, remember that. So suppose this is the cell, and inside the cell the amount of water is this much. And here outside the cell the amount of water is a lot. So if the amount of water is less in case of a cell. So here amount of water is more outside. Amount of water is less inside. Is less inside the cell. So what will happen because of the process of the osmosis? Here why we are using the term osmosis? Because the movement of the water molecule is happening because of the presence of this membrane, and that is called as a semi-permeable membrane. Okay, so since the water is moving from this semi-permeable membrane, thus this is the process of osmosis. So the movement of the water from the higher concentration to lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane, that is called as a osmosis. So here it start moving from outside to inside. So water start coming inside, and due to which it absorbs a lot of water and it swells up. Okay, and because of swelling a lot of water, since it is coming out, ultimately what will happen, the plasma membrane will burst out and all the cell organelle will come outside. So we can say here that because of that we will not able to see the cell organelles, we will be not able to see the cell properly even under the microscope. So this situation is called as hemolyzed. It is called as hemolyzed. Okay, this situation is called as hemolyzed. So this is the first condition, that what will happen when we keep the cell in a hypotonic solution, students.